Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We are on our last installment of this series, part four. I wasn't able to put part one on YouTube because the sound quality was really bad. I didn't realize that the mic was not good that day. So I've tested ever since to make sure we're good, and we're good. It's hot as Hades because I'm in West Virginia humidity, so I got the fan on, but you shouldn't be able to hear that. It just might mean I'm blowing around everywhere, which is fine. But we're going to go into our last part. It's our fourth installment of the series, Common Ailments for Women and the Misconceptions Behind Them. Prior to this, we have covered estrogen dominance, endometriosis, tubal ligations, and today we're going to conquer bacterial vaginosis. I think it's really important that people understand what bacterial vaginosis really is, because there's a lot of shaming that comes behind bacterial vaginosis. It's very embarrassing for the person that is suffering with it, and there's a lot of negative speak on it. And so what I want to kind of teach you today is not only how to take care of your body and remedy this situation, but I also want to show you how to prevent. We have a lovely show and tell today. I have a bag full of products that I'm going to show you as well. They're all commercial products that you can buy at places like Target. A lot of really good companies that have natural ingredients, so there isn't any funky stuff. And it's just to be able to help you kind of combat this. If you are currently going through this, you've gone through this before, or you want to prevent this from happening. I will be very honest. I'm going to be brutally honest in today's video. There's a lot of things that we don't talk about regarding our doctor visits for this type of situation, and a lot of information that isn't given to women that I think is super important for you to know regarding bacterial vaginosis. And some of it may surprise you. So let's jump right in. First thing we're going to talk about, excuse me, is what bacterial vaginosis is. So I'm not giving a clinical definition. I'm going to give the definition that everybody knows it so far. So normally there's going to be some vaginal itching. There's going to be an odor that's present. This is most likely the odor that people smell when they smell the fishy smell. And it is something that is a bacterial overgrowth. So it doesn't have anything to do with being clean. Can this present if we don't have good reproductive hygiene? Absolutely. But it can also represent with the cleanest of cleanest reproductive organs. So it isn't something that discriminates, and it isn't about socioeconomic status. It is not about being dirty. It is not about, the type of woman that you are. It doesn't matter about what you're doing per se. It has a lot to do with your body's chemistry and your immune system. And so that is what we're going to talk about today. That's the angle that we're going to come from. So with bacterial vaginosis, typically what will happen is you're minding your business, you're going on, about what you're doing. Then all of a sudden you notice that there's some itching, and then odor is usually not far behind, or either they happen at the same time. And so what happens is this smell is very familiar and everyone knows what it is when they have it. And the first step that you normally take is probably going to the doctor to have them test you for it. And then you'll be prescribed an antibiotic and sometimes an antifungal just in case. And you go on about your merry way and you take an antibiotic like doxycycline, clindamycin, if those sound familiar. There's a bunch of other ones that you can take as well, but usually those are the top two that are prescribed for this. And you'll take that 14 or 21 day course through its entirety. You're told not to use it. And then most of the time for women, what happens is you're told to use it. You're told to finish it. You're told not to go without using it. You need to use it for the whole 21 day period. Sorry about that. But what will happen typically for women when they are already having a bacterial overgrowth and immune system is suppressed and they're in estrogen dominance is they'll take the antibiotic. Good grief, guys. I'm having a rough day today. They will take the antibiotic and not be on a real good probiotic. And then that bacterial vaginosis that you've had for a week or two is then going to turn into a week-long to 2 week-long battle with a yeast infection. because when we take all the good bacteria out of our body, hence antibiotic, we then also mess with the chemical balance or the pH as well as the bacterial and fungal balance of the vagina. And now we have the perfect storm or perfect environment for a yeast or fungal overgrowth. So now we've gotten rid of the bacterial vaginosis and we've gone straight into a yeast infection. I hear it and see it all the time. And so what we really need to kind of break down is how you get bacterial vaginosis. It is a bacteria. This bacteria can live on the skin. It is not a sexually transmitted disease. However, bacterial vaginosis can come from the bacteria on your partner's parts, because everyone that's watching this may not be in a hetero relationship, which is totally fine. So it can be passed. If you are in a relationship or a partnership with a man, the man can pass the bacteria to you, and because they don't have a vagina, they never have bacterial vaginosis because they don't have a way to get it. But they can absolutely pass that bacteria to you. So you want to ensure that your partner is, cleaning themselves regularly and has good hygiene for their parts as well. We want to make sure that they are healthy and that they are up to date on anything they need to be doing to be able to have a sexual relationship. And we don't want to let that pass without acknowledging that. The women get blamed. All of a sudden we're dirty. There's shaming. There's stigma. But more than 50% of cases of bacterial vaginosis actually occur because it's being passed from a man's penis to a woman's vagina. And so I think it's very important that we know that and that we understand that, and that if a woman is going to get rid of bacterial vaginosis, then her partner has to be proactive in that recovery and in that process as well. We cannot be held accountable only in this situation if we're in a sexual relationship. You can get bacterial vaginosis if you're not sexually active, but it's more common with people that are. So I wanted to get that out of the way. And so what we're going to want to do as a preventative measure, and also during the times that we have bacterial vaginosis to limit that, is to make sure that we are preparing the body, we are nourishing the body, and that we are essentially caring for the body in a way that is going to make sure that these type of environments are not, ready for overgrowth of bacterial or fungal types. And so I'm going to show you how to do that through some products today that I find to be the absolute best. I am not a firm believer in antibiotics just because it wrecks the gut. It wrecks the immune system. It can take 12 full months to recover from one dose of antibiotic. And so I want to make sure that you have all the information that's out there available to you to be able to remedy this without an antibiotic if you so choose. Obviously, if you've been through this entire installment series of this 4 parts, you know that I am a holistic practitioner, that I am someone that educates in functional medicine, herbal remedies. And so I'm not going to tell you to take an antibiotic for bacterial vaginosis. There's a lot of components that go with this, and I just want to make sure, again, that we truly understand that this can be passed from man to woman and woman to woman. While it is not considered a sexually transmitted disease, if you have a partner and you're sexually active and you're proactively trying to have good reproductive hygiene, you need that person to be on board with you and them to have good reproductive hygiene, because there isn't any sense in you prepping the body, nourishing the body, and essentially caring for the body if your partner is not also going to do the same for themselves. So use this as a learning experience and a way to be able to come closer to your partner instead of being scared to talk about it or dealing with it. Because the last thing you want to do is hide it and then just go on, for weeks and months without actually caring for it. The products that I'm going to show you today actually were created by companies or people that actually dealt with this situation, and they wanted to remedy this for themselves and then found that it worked for themselves. And they're like, yes, much like I do with Divine Woman, I want to share this with the world. I want to share it with everybody else. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is cleanliness before we get into anything else. One of my favorite products is Honey Pot. This is the normal foaming wash, but they used to only have normal and sensitive, and now they've come out with a whole like slew of these. There's like 6 of them total. It's an apple cider vinegar base. It's a foaming wash. When you are in the shower or the bathtub, when we're using Honey Pot, we do not want to do that with a washcloth or anything that can hold bacteria. The best way to wash your lady parts is honestly with your hand that has been cleaned through washing it in the shower. So we're going to wash our hands, and then we're going to apply the product, and then we're going to wash our lady parts with the product and then wash it off. No bath cloths, no sponges, nothing like that, because that's already going to set you up for failure because they're filled with bacteria. The good bacteria is there, especially if you're using a probiotic body wash, but the bad bacteria is also there. As soon as you fold that bad boy up and hang it on the thing in the shower, you've now let bacteria grow because it stays wet and then it dries. And so we don't want to use anything like that on our lady parts. And so this is awesome. Anyone can use this. It's gentle. It's sensitive. I've even taught my daughter to use this, and she's only 4, so that she already has good hygiene before she even gets into having a menstrual cycle and having sex. And so Honey Pot is what we use in our house. I like the normal. They also have a bergamot and rose, a cucumber melon, which completely takes me back to the 90s. They have a sensitive that has no essential oils in it, but they all come with essential oils if it's not sensitive. So this one, for instance, has lavender, coconut, and apple cider vinegar. It's super simple. You shake it up. You pump it 3 times. You wash the area. You rinse with clean hands. It actually tells you that. The lady that created this is also a Black-owned company. The lady that created this was someone that dealt with bacterial vaginosis for years, and she wanted to find a way to basically rid herself of that and then use preventative measures to never have it again, and thus Honey Pot was born. They have a whole slew of other products that I'm going to show you. This is what it looks like. Again, you can get this at Target, Walmart, honeypot.com, Amazon, anywhere. Just if you want to be discreet, order it, ship it to your house, that's fine, but they have it in the pad and tampon aisle at Target. That's where I always get mine. So Honey Pot, this is how we're keeping it clean. We want to make sure that we're washing the outside. We don't need to wash the inside. Self-cleaning organ. It doesn't need you to do any of that. You don't need to put this inside. We're just going to clean our labia, the majora, the minora, and around the vaginal opening. Make sure you're getting all that good stuff. And I am going to be very honest with you. Women do sometimes have a hooded clitoris, and so you need to pull that skin back and wash that as well. We have the same problem as men that are uncircumcised with that. So this is a great way to clean. Keep yourself clean. Use it every time you take a bath or shower. All right, next. So this is going to be preventative. Everybody should be on a good probiotic, okay? Good probiotic. And I have a hornet of some type flying all around that's scaring me to death. All right. Good probiotic. I really like Thorne Fluoro LP because it's really good for women. I also like Digestion Women's SBO probiotic. These are the 2 that I go in between. They've got high CFU, so like 50 billion, 40 billion. This comes in a pearl. This comes in a capsule. And a probiotic is absolutely needed. We're going to want to take a probiotic every day at night before we go to sleep so that when everything in our body resets and does what it's supposed to do while we're sleeping, this is working, and it's working on your gut, and then it's assimilating that out to the rest of your body. A probiotic is a must when we are talking bacterial overgrowth because you need that good bacteria to not only line your stomach and your digestive system, but also be there to be ready to fight whatever is going on with your reproductive organs. We want this in our body at all times. So probiotic every day for the rest of your life. There are also really good foods. These are usually things that people don't like to eat, but if you can get past the smell or the taste, they are very good for you. So drinking kombucha, eating sauerkraut, heavily fermented foods, anything that's really in the Chinese, Japanese food variety that's pickled is very good for you. So try some new foods because that's also an excellent way to get your probiotics in. You can also use a probiotic drink, but it's much easier and better for you and beneficial if you use a pearl or a capsule because then it's going directly into your digestive system. We do not have to, ingest it, eat it, get past smells and all that stuff. All right, so if we're going to talk about another supplement that we can use, this Azo Yeast Plus Dual Relief. This is good as a yeast infection symptom reliever as well as a bacterial vaginosis symptom reliever. You can take this 2 to 3 times a day I keep this on hand just in case things are feeling a little off. This is something that's really, really good for you. It's a homeopathic remedy that actually has candida already in it in order to kind of subjugate what's happening with candida overgrowth. It has sulfur and a couple of other things, and it relieves vaginal itching. So this is really good if that is something that you're dealing with as far as bacterial vaginosis or even yeast. And like I said, even if things are just feeling a little off and you don't actually have something happening, it might just be an off day, this is really good to have on hand and take that day. And everything is homeopathic. All right, so let's get right down to it. If you're actively dealing with bacterial vaginosis, these honey pot anti-itch wipes are the bee's knees. They will sting a little if you are in active infection with the bacterial overgrowth. However, it immensely stops the itching. So you'll get a tingle, maybe a little bit of a slight burn, but nothing that's harmful, and then the itching will stop. They are amazing. This is also for my parents out there, my mamas. If you've had hemorrhoids, these are amazing as well, and they're natural. We don't have a bunch of chemicals on the wipe that are then invading the body. So another great honey pot product, they are anti-itch soothing wipes. These are also homeopathic. And so there is a hydrochloride family on these, but they are natural and they are very good for itching. Another good thing is these liners. So if you're like the last day of your period or you are using something that is going to then come out of the vagina and you need something to catch it, these wipes are also anti-itch and they have mint, lavender, and aloe on them. And so they will give a cooling effect on that last day of your period to freshen up, or if you're using something, which I'm getting ready to show you, that you'll need them for to catch it in your underwear. So these are really, really good too, and all natural, not bleached, nothing crazy. All right, so the first thing is boric acid suppositories. This company called Love Wellness has something called the Killer. If you use this for 4 to 5 days in the vaginal cavity while you have an active bacterial vaginosis infection, this to me works better than antibiotics, and we're not putting ourselves in a situation where we're going to give ourselves a yeast infection. These are boric acid suppositories. Literally the only thing in this is boric acid and the gelatin outside capsule. And so you insert this before you go to sleep, lay down, go to sleep. It'll come out on the panty liner, i.e. the panty liner, and then you'll remove the panty liner, pee, the rest of it will come out. You can go on about your day. 4 to 5 days, but you can use it up to 14, I believe. So 4 to 5 days, you're going to be good to go. This is going to get rid of your itching. This is going to get rid of the smell, and it's really going to clean everything out and reset your pH. Now, after you've used the boric acid suppositories, the Love Wellness Company, they're so smart, created Flora Power, which is a suppository for the vagina again, but it is straight probiotic. And so these have a little bit more, but it's vitamin C, the capsule, a vaginal, specifically for the vagina, a vaginal probiotic blend, and some magnesium, a little bit of silicon dioxide. You put this in there, same thing, use the panty liner, it'll do its job. You can use these as a one-off. You can also use them up to 5 days. But if you use one of these after an infection that you've now gotten rid of, or you use these after a period, or you use these after a yeast infection, it's going to restore that good bacteria in the vagina and put it straight in your bloodstream. So these are amazing to keep on hand as well. Those are the products that I have for you today for show and tell. So let's go back through them. Vaginal suppository, it is for the vagina. Boric acid suppository for the vagina. We've got a lot of vagina monologue talk going on today. I don't know if this video is good for the men. Maybe they'll learn something though if they're not too scared to listen. Boric acid suppository for bacterial vaginosis. Boric acid suppositories can also be used for yeast infections as well. A nice little honey pot, lavender, mint, aloe, anti-itch panty liner. We have the honey pot anti-itch wipes. Don't forget those. And then the Azo Yeast Plus, which is good for itching. Ladies, blown away. Don't forget your probiotics. So a capsule or a pearl is fine, but keep that in your stomach at all times. Line that gut, do your body some good. boost your immune system. Take these at night before you go to sleep. I have access to 20,000 different types of supplements through my database, through my partner FullScript, so we can find you a probiotic that works. I'll be more than happy to do that with you. If you need supplement education, I have a 30-minute service we can do after you've purchased it to teach you how to use it, when to take it, all that great stuff. But probiotics are pretty easy. You order it, you follow what I tell you in FullScript, you use it, and you're good to go. Last but not least, the honey pot wash. Use your hands, not a washcloth, not a sponge, nothing. Use your hands to use it. 3 pumps, wash, rinse, good to go. All right, so we've talked about bacterial vaginosis. We've talked about the products that you can use in order to prevent that. Even if you're not in active infection, having those on hand and using them is a really good thing, especially the probiotic and occasional probiotic suppository, occasional boric acid suppository. We want to make sure that that pH is in the right place. I'd like to connect this to the rest of the videos that we've talked about. So if you're in estrogen dominance, you're more susceptible to yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis. And so we really, really want to bring that estrogen down or get it level with your other hormones if it's too high, because it can cause you to have these bacterial overgrowths because your pH is not correct and because you are battling other things. We want to make sure that stress is on point. That's another big thing for bacterial vaginosis. Stress can send that bacteria into overdrive. If your cortisol is too high, that can send that bacteria into overdrive. And I'd like you to understand that bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections are both a combination of bacterial for bacterial vaginosis and bacterial and fungal for yeast infections. So we want to make sure that our body's in tip-top shape, and that includes your reproductive organs. You want to make sure your body's in tip-top shape so that it does its job and it protects you from these things that could otherwise get out of control and make the body unbalanced. So we want to make sure estrogen dominance is not happening. So limit caffeine, dark sodas, dairy. Dairy and caffeine and dark soda anyway are not good for bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections. We want to make sure that everything's clean as a whistle. We don't have to be overly clean and crazy. Like I said, we don't want to douche. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ. We do not need to do anything extra to the inside of it. But keeping that outside pristine, keeping your hygiene good. Another thing, if you get recurring yeast or recurring bacterial vaginosis, it is okay to wax and to shave the pubic hair. It's actually good to not wear underwear. I know people are like, oh my gosh, this is so taboo. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. But just trust me on this. There's a lot of OBGYNs and midwives out there that will agree with me on this. Shaving, waxing, or not wearing underwear. It does so much good for you. Instead of having everything constricted, we don't want to keep things wet. So don't stay in wet bathing suits too long. Don't run around being sweaty all the time. If you have to take 2 showers a day, take them if you feel comfortable doing that. Don't let someone shame you into thinking that you shouldn't do that. If you feel sweaty, if you feel gross, if you feel like things are a little off, hop in the shower, use your honey pot, and do what you need to do for yourself. Make sure that we're indulging in self-care. Herbal teas are another great way to keep the body in tip-top shape. There's one called Stress Relief from Traditional Medicinals that I love. It has a cinnamon flavor. Throw some honey in there and drink that before you go to bed. It's herbal, so it's not going to keep you up at night. And that's going to help with your cortisol levels as well. So we just want to make sure that we're keeping everything rounded out so that we are not putting ourselves in a state we're in hyperdrive or we're in overdrive or we're just not able to function properly. pH is huge. It's a huge piece of what I do. If we're not in optimal pH, then you're going to find that the body's going to be working overtime and overcompensating in some areas. And then you're also going to find that the body is underproducing in areas that you actually need it to achieve optimum level. So that goes the same for bacteria, fungus, and immunity boosting things like your estrogen dominance and your cortisol. Even your ghrelin that helps you to push your food through the digestive system and let you know your cues on when you're hungry or when you're full or when you're thirsty. And last but not least, the biggest thing that you can do for your body is drink water. Water, 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 water. All day long. I drink about 100 ounces a day. This is a 50-ounce cup, and I drink 2 of these a day if I can. And even if I'm getting ready to go to bed because these cups keep my water cool, I will go ahead and make me a new cup and just drink it throughout the day the next day. And when I'm finished with it, make me another one. It's continuous. Hydration is key for everything that we've talked about. You want to aim for half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150, we're going to go for 75 ounces of water. You get the drill. So these are the tips that I have for you today discussing bacterial vaginosis. I hope that you feel a little bit more comfortable. You're able to discuss this with your partner and you're able to take care of your body now after this. If you have any questions, you can always PM my business page, Sacred Transformation Wellness, and we can also do free discovery calls. I will put the link to booking those discovery calls in this video. Also, just a heads up, I have a new round of my program, Divine Woman, starting on August 7th. You would need to be registered for that by August 1st. If you've received the self-care for hormone balancing guide, you would receive 10% off the total cost of my program. Monthly payment plans are available for the 3-month duration of the program. Also, if you haven't received that self-care for hormone balancing guide, it's a 40-page guide that I have created for women to help you through your journey of self-care and understanding how to take care of your body so that we don't end up in estrogen dominance and so that we don't end up with situations like yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis. It goes through trauma, it goes through spirituality, it goes through nutrition, it goes through self-care. It has trackers and infographics and gives you so much beneficial information, and it's completely free. So if you head on over to sacredtransformationwellness.com, an automatic pop-up box will pop up that will allow you to sign up for the guide. You trade your email for the guide. I put you on our email list and you can stay up to date with what's going on at Sacred Transformation Wellness as far as discounts, news, products, what we're changing, what we're rolling out, launches, all of that good stuff. So I appreciate you guys today. Thank you for joining. If you're coming on late, go ahead and rewind. Go back to the replay. It'll be posted shortly and will be posted on YouTube probably tomorrow morning. So you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me here at Sacred Transformation Wellness for this series. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to start working on the next one that we will do this fall. Thank you again so much. Your support means the world to me. And I look forward to helping women, more women, to come on a journey where they can have glowing skin, understand how to take care of themselves, get rid of estrogen dominance, get rid of hormone imbalance, feel good, have a great quality of life, and honestly, go into their 30s and 40s knowing that they're the shit and that that's actually their prime. I'm ready for that. So let's unite, ladies. If you don't mind, go over and join the Wellness Focal Point. If you're watching this video, you're already in it. But if you are watching this on YouTube or a third-party subscription service, go and join the Wellness Focal Point on Facebook. It is our online community where we talk all things holistic health and functional medicine and wellness. And it's a safe space to be able to talk about. We have a lot of great content over there that's all completely free for anybody that joins. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.